federal judge has ordered the release of emails from former MAGA lawyer John Eastman, saying that the communications in fact prove that Trump knowingly pushed the big lie to subvert the results of the 2020 presidential election. Now, US Judge David Carter explained that the emails must be turned over. And here's what he says. He says that they show that Trump, quote, knew that the specific numbers of voter fraud were wrong, but continued to tout those numbers both in court and to the public. Are you allowed to lie in court?
No, you are not, Anna.
You're not?
That is a very serious crime.
For us, for people
yes.
like us, yeah. Okay.
But for the party that wants rule of law, of course they would say, ignore the law. That's our dictator. I mean, wannabe dictator, I mean kind of president at one point, and our leader.
Now, Eastman has long argued that these emails are protected under attorney-client privilege, but the ruling by Judge Carter says no, they're not. Because they were likely evidence of and sufficiently related to and in furtherance of the obstruction crime, he argued. Now, Judge Carter also came with receipts, which you guys know how much I love receipts. So let's talk about that. Judge Carter wrote that 4 of the emails demonstrate an effort by President Trump and his attorneys to press false claims in federal court for the purpose of delaying the January 6th vote, including claims filed as part of a lawsuit in Georgia. He describes the emails as containing Trump's concerns as relayed by Eastman about having to include specific numbers in a signed declaration to be filed with the court. So understand what he's saying there. He's saying these communications indicate that Trump was at least a little concerned about lying in court by citing specific numbers. But here's one such example of an email that Eastman wrote. Although the president signed a verification for the state court filing back on December 1st, he has since been made aware that some of the allegations and evidence proffered by the experts has been inaccurate. For him to sign a new verification with that knowledge and incorporation by reference would not be accurate. So again, that is an email from John Eastman on December 30th of 2020. Now, the Trump campaign relied on those numbers nonetheless. They knew they were inaccurate, but they cited them in court anyway. President Trump and his attorneys ultimately filed the complaint with the same inaccurate numbers without rectifying, clarifying, or otherwise changing them. President Trump, moreover, signed a verification swearing under oath that the incorporated inaccurate numbers are true and correct, or believed to be true and correct, to the best of his knowledge and belief. Well, the communications he's had with John Eastman prove otherwise.
Yeah, so of course, Trump screaming like a banshee about this today. He went on his account and was like, put judge in air quotes. And he's like, I'm not even involved in this case. I wasn't even represented. I don't know what this judge is talking about. Okay, so yes, this case is about Eastman, not about Trump. That's why you weren't represented, but it is super relevant to you.
Yes.
And you might have wanted to pay attention to it, okay? But you're Bozo the Clown, so you were squeezing water out of the flower on your lapel the whole time instead, and wondering where your floppy shoes are gonna go. So now, why is he so worried now that he understands what's going on? Because that's a world of trouble, man.
Is it?
It's normally, you're right. With Trump, it never is, right? Because they're so afraid of him. The fact how afraid prosecutors and the Democrats are is a stain that will last forever on Democrats and prosecutors. Just prosecute the guy already. This one is a slam dunk. His guy tells him, kind of his lawyer, right? Tells him at that point, but not really. He's a lawyer. He's not representing Trump, so there's not attorney-client privilege in that case. But part of what the courts ruled is, no, but this is in commission of a crime. And even if you had attorney-client privilege, it wouldn't apply if you guys are committing a crime together. And the emails show clearly that you were. And to be fair to Eastman, Eastman said, do not use those numbers. We know that they are wrong, and that will get us in trouble. And Trump looked at it and go, no, I'm gonna use them anyway.
Honestly, John Eastman is not a smart guy, but it is amazing that in this particular case, this very specific case, he had better judgment.
Yeah, and remember, he's the one that came up with a plan to do the fake electors and the coup. Overall, he's in a world of trouble. But Trump is the one that's, even for the guy plotting the coup, he's like, nah, you're too careful, let's just lie in court. So he signed it, it's definitely a lie, and we have overwhelming evidence that Trump knew that it was a lie. And now then you get turned to the Anna's skepticism of, yes, but is there rule of law in this country at all when it comes to the elites like Trump? And the answer is probably no. But if there was any justice at all, he would be in massive trouble for this. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.